We'll move it along here to the second AL wild card series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals. Game one will be a 4:08 Eastern start time, first pitch, and we are looking at Cole Raggins for the Kansas City Royals in game one, and it'll be Corbin Burns for the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles are a minus 153 home favorite for game one of this wild card series, plus 140 on the money line for the Royals. Total is set at 7 in this game here, Griffin, with some heavy vig on the under at minus 123 right now. But what are your thoughts on this Royals and Orioles game one?
Yeah. I'm gonna let go that I just wanted to take the Orioles out this first series. They got exactly who they wanted. This is the best case scenario for the Orioles, I feel. Cole Raggins is a great pitcher, big power lefty, but behind him, that bullpen is very sketchy. I mean, some incredible numbers from Chris Bubich coming out of the bullpen, kind of coming out of nowhere off of I think multiple Tommy John surgeries, and has been awesome. He's a lefty. That's, I guess, good in some capacity because there's a lot of left-handed ability on that Orioles roster. Lucas Ursedge, who got acquired from the Athletics at the deadline, has been their closer, and I think really got them into the playoffs because they had no other options. James MacArthur was their closer before that. I think he's on the IL. Is probably getting Tommy John. John Schreiber is just going to try to sinker ball grounder you to death. That's a really bad combo against a power hitting Orioles lineup, I feel. And honestly, the Royals were horrible heading into the last week of the season. Somehow they miraculously stole a game on Sunday, but I guess they had already clinched. So once the pressure went away, but winning 1-0 on a Manfred man extra innings error against the Nationals earlier in the week to kind of push them the right direction. And they've done so little offensively in so long, and that's what the Royals were good at. They were great at hitting the ball, and they've had big, bad road splits compared to being great at home, being really different away from home,
Yeah.
almost Rockies level, it felt like. So there's a lot going against the Royals here. Now, I don't think the Orioles are a safe bet to move through this series. If I had to pick and I wanted to make sure I won my bet, I would pick the Orioles, though I can see and I can understand why people would take the Royals, a flyer on the Royals, but don't let a Sunday win against a Braves team after really no showing the first two games of the series, looking pretty bad despite winning a series against the Nationals and kind of struggling with a Nationals team that hasn't been playing meaningful baseball since maybe 2019. So there's a lot that I feel like the Orioles have problems. I don't know how they're going to close games. Corbin Burns has been awesome, was really good against the Yankees his last start, but came out at 1-0 down or 1-0 down. Wow, soccer coming through, I guess, the brain. And then I think it was a 10-1 final. You could argue that the bad Orioles bullpen came in after that, but Yennier Cano, I don't trust. Severino Dominguez, Sir Anthony Dominguez, excuse me, I don't believe in him. I don't know that the Royals are enough to kind of cause that problem just yet in this first series, and it's in Baltimore. It's going to be tough. There's a really good arm going for the Royals, and I think that's their best chance that they can steal game one and then try to just somehow find a way to get one of the next two, because the Orioles do get significantly worse. I'm kind of just hoping that the Orioles get through, look awesome, dominate the Royals in two games, and then we look to be against them later. But I don't even know we're going to get that chance.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of points and cases you can make for each side of this not only game but also the series, honestly, because Baltimore was a team. Yeah, they won 91 games this season, but it seemed like that they could have been a whole heck of a lot better because there were just times where they were just on these jobs, especially offensively. The Royals, on the other hand, I mean, I just hate the fact that the way that they ended the season with everything that you mentioned, Griffin, especially on the offensive side of things. And the bullpen for the Orioles, it's I don't want to say it's at the Astros level or what it was at the beginning of the season, but like you mentioned, it's guys that you really can't trust at the back end of it. Maybe not in game one because you probably do expect if Corbin Burns is going along well here. Who knows that he can go, I think, at 7 innings minimum, maybe even go to complete game, honestly, because he's been there before, especially with the Milwaukee Brewers before getting traded, obviously, here over to the Orioles. And I think for the Royals, when we talk about their pitching rotation with Cole Raggins, seems like it'll be Seth Lugo in game two, and then Michael Walker possibly in game three there. I think the part that makes me nervous about the Orioles is that do you really trust this rotation after Corbin Burns? Because I know they've dealt with a lot of injuries in that pitching rotation throughout this season. And again, that Orioles offense, and you can say the same thing about the Royals here as well. It's like, which version of them are you going to get, right? Are you going to get a team that again has a lot of great hitters, power hitters on that Baltimore Orioles side that they snap out of it here in the postseason? The same thing to say the same thing about the Royals here as well. But as far as game one goes, I think runs will be at a premium here. I trust both of these pitchers here. I know we have that 7 that's juiced heavily towards the under. That first 5 is at 3.5. I do like the first 5 under 3.5 in this game. I think that both these pitchers can go along well here in this game. And again, I wouldn't be surprised, like I mentioned, if Corbin Burns does go in that realm of 7 to 8 innings here, having to trust one guy if they're up with that lead to close it out here for the Baltimore Orioles. So, yeah, I'll go Orioles under 3.5. Sorry, first 5 innings between these two pitchers under 3.5 for game one, which takes us to the series price for this matchup. Right now, the Orioles are a minus 170 favorite to win this series, plus 145 on the Kansas City Royals here. Griffin, who do you have advancing to the next round between these two squads?
Ooh, I don't really see it, I gotta say. It seems like it's a long road. And I just said it's a bridge too far for the Tigers. I gotta say, I just don't trust the Orioles enough. So I think I'll take the Royals to upset the Orioles. I probably would have picked anyone going against the Orioles. Certainly with the odds, it makes it, I mean, 50-50 odds. I certainly don't see that. But I think there's enough problems that the Orioles have right now that I can't trust them to win at this type of price. I'm certainly not putting your kids on the line for this one, Munaf. I don't have any kids, so I can't just use that, but I guess I'll go royal we for the podcast, considering we've been together for 6 months now. But um, I feel like there's enough that I think the Orioles can lose the series despite being at home, drawing like the worst playing team that's made it to the playoffs.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Royals offense just absolutely just broke out, in this series, honestly. I know they had the woes to the end of the season there, but we've seen this a lot of times where teams that have been absolutely cold in the season just absolutely just snap out of it when the postseason comes. So I do like the Royals in the series. I just trust their pitching rotation more. Again, for me, like I mentioned, I know Corbin Burns is an ace, a front runner for this rotation, but after that, it's just a huge question marks as far as the starting rotation goes. And we talked about our volumes of the bullpen there as well for the Baltimore Orioles here as well. So I'll take the plus price here on the Royals, plus 145 against this Baltimore Orioles team.